you have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what it takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hey, Rise and Thrivers. Well, Thrivers. Let's see if I can speak. Try it again. Hello, Rise and Thrivers. Welcome to Monday, August 25th, 2025. And it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to our episode, and we are so ready to jump and dive in. But before we go to do that, welcome. If it's your first time, or no matter how many times you're here, we are Rise and Thrive Together. We are a vibrant community that is committed to educate and empower and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk and real actions. So here we are, last Monday of August, going into the 9th month of 2025. I don't know about you, but that has pretty much kind of right now just hit my heart going, wow, we are going into that 9th month. What have we birthed, during this 2025 year? Might be a good topic. But before I even get into any of that, let's welcome the beautiful Raquel Stewart, my good friend and co-host. How are you doing today, Raquel?
I'm good. How are you? How are you feeling?
Yes, thank you. On the mend. It's, we'll get into that. I'm here. I'm on. So much better. And I want to save it kind of like as we kind of bring together what I'm really psyched about, really talking with you and talking with our listeners, reviewing this whole month. We've had some extraordinary conversations, which, I don't know about you, has really impacted me this month around mental fortitude. It's more than grit. I want to thank you publicly because that is a conversation that you and I, when looking through the months of what to talk about, this one was like, I just love the title, but it really has struck a chord. So here we are, episode 122. I don't know. Again, another thing to say, like, wow, talk about mental fortitude and mental grit to get to where we are. And it was just it has been a really great, juicy month of conversation. So
Agreed. Before we go on, I do want to give a shout out. Reg and I were talking behind the scenes about last year where we were. And last year we were in the Bahamas on a mission trip with Leah's Hopes and Dreams. You guys have seen Dr. Shanique Carmichael on the show. If you're a regular watcher, you've seen her several times. Leah's Hopes and Dreams are currently in the Bahamas, where they go twice a year, 3 times a year, and they are serving people in need, and they continue to be blessed and have tons of different items that they can give away. They've done a backpack giveaway. It's a medical mission where they treat the people in the Bahamas, and we just want to give a shout out to Leah's Hopes and Dreams. Continue to be blessed and do great things and be a blessing to the community. They have a full understanding that you cannot do it alone, but you do it together, right? Like we always say at the end, it's together that we can rise and thrive. So shout out to Leah's Hopes and Dreams for doing incredible work within the community, not just in the Bahamas, but also where they live in Charlotte, North Carolina. They feed the homeless twice a week on Wednesday evenings and Saturday morning. So shout out to them.
Yes, thank you for that. We were talking about where that is. And, if you don't know them, easy to look them up, Leah's Hopes and Dreams. And it just reminds me at this moment to, say, can move forward where Raquel was saying, there is so much when it comes to when you get to make a difference for others and be a part of a community and the impact it makes. not just for the community itself, that is just beautiful when we can see it, but like how a year later, how that still stays, with me. And I really truly feel as part of this whole mental fortitude, it's more than grit. That opportunity has helped me move forward stronger and really have me getting very present and more focused and aligned to the type of things that I want to do in my life to make a difference for others. So I really appreciate them. And yeah, so sis, I posted out there because Raquel and I take times of posting, and sometimes she's out there posting ahead of time, and sometimes I'm out there. So I really talked. We're out here to sit with our audience today and kind of do a review. I kind of like look at what are the things that stood out in the conversations, especially with the amazing guests that we had, and what stood out for you, what stood out for me, and of course, the most important is this is not about us. This is for you. So if you're live here or watching the replay, what are some of the things that you heard, this month from us, from our guests, some of the things that you've taken on? What are some of the obstacles that you're still dealing with when we have this conversation? Mental fortitude, it's more than just grit. So I definitely, want to just quickly just review for myself and for everyone that I just got a quick little simple definition of mental fortitude, which is the ability to overcome the hardships and the obstacles with a positive, empowering attitude. And sometimes you've possibly even have met people, surprise, Raquel and I, if you're watching, are two people who come across and exhibit we plan to and we are committed to and we thrive and grow ourselves into having that mental fortitude, the ability to overcome hardships and obstacles with that positive attitude. And the grit of it all is, developing some type of predisposition, like a way of being that, gives you the exposure to that obstacle, to that challenge, to that hardship you're going through, and you seek out opportunities to fail. Hear this again. We seek out opportunities. I love this one. This was like a new for me because we've discussed this, to fail so that we can learn and develop something new that can help us move forward. That ability to deal with repeated setbacks. We fail. We continue to fail. Why are we failing? Because we're committed to whatever that is. And that helps us develop that grit so that we're going to have those setbacks. That's reality. We're having those setbacks. So it's the resilience. Some of that is that mental toughness that we're talking about more than the physical, right? And the grit are those important concepts to look at. What are those important concepts that move you forward as you are having that ability to fail and learn? And that fortitude is, really what kind of, mental kind of empowering mind you want to have. So that's something I looked up, sis, like as I was listening to them again, just like grab clips. We get these great AI clips and what I can walk away with. And I thought that was really powerful because we've talked about this when it said, when we fail, we're meant to fail so that we can learn and then move forward.
I've got a question for you. You said we seek it out. So can you think of an example in your life where you sought out failure?
It's funny when you said seek it out. Is it something that I don't know if I run around my life and go, hey, it's about to be on the show, or I'm going to my class. Today I'm going to seek out, failing X, Y, and Z. I kind of take that as no matter what I'm going to do in, for example, the book, right? It came out, this book that has been 1 week released. There have been so many setbacks and obstacles. When I'm on this, like, really like getting to that goal, that end line, I know things are going to set back. I have a huge life. I'm up to like really big things. So I am looking at constantly like, what is that area the minute I'm like stopped in it or what I need support in? Because it nothing goes smoothly. I don't know anybody, please write in here and tell me one day. I know I have experiences. I may have long, an hour, 2 hours, maybe even, if I really get real, I don't think I've ever had the perfect day. There are many things that have set me back, but it's how I have moved forward and how I have kind of pivoted and flowed through it. So I could be honest, I loved why I said seeking out, because just like you, I was like, ooh, I'm going to sit with that new one tonight and move forward to say, what would that look like? I don't ever had a mindset to say, I'm going to look out, seek out failures today. So that's an interesting concept. But I can look back and say, at this point in time, all of those setbacks, all of those things that have been a hardship or an obstacle have provided me so much of ways of taking care of myself differently and knowing that I need to build a bigger, stronger team on certain projects, team around the book, team around Leah's hopes and dreams. Perfect. It is not just Shanique and her husband. If you guys could, follow them or see it, there was how many of us last year? 28 of us, right? And that's the people that just went, the team every week that it takes. So I'm starting to really see that doing it alone is not what I want. So yeah, go ahead, Genevieve. Setbacks are meant to set you up for success in the right time. Somebody's been watching that show. Great, Genevieve. Setbacks are meant to set you up for success in the right time. It is. I believe in that. The divine timing. It may not feel like it. And Raquel talks about that a lot, right? Does our feelings. And I think, who was it? Our wonderful physical therapist?
Andrew Fernandez.
I loved when he got into that whole, and I'm going to rewatch that again, the feelings, because our feelings are the things that, honestly, if we're really honest with ourselves, kind of take over stuff. And if we allow our feelings to take over stuff, we can kind of spin our wheels out of control. Raise your hands if your feelings have ever gotten in the way, that gotten you to the point of like, whoop. I mean, we talked about this behind the scenes today, right? When you were like, hey, sis, like, I'm ready for bed, like, right? You were like, I'm tired. I got this going on, and me too. And we could allow those feelings to set us back to a point of not showing up. But we have some strategies. That's called we get on early, and we kind of have each other to vent out what we need to vent out and work through what we need to work through so that we can then be equipped to be here more powerfully for our people. So that's how I'll say that.
Okay. So I have a question that I want to put out there to the audience. And the question is, when life hits hard,
Oof.
Do you bend, break, or bounce back?
Love it.
And I'm really interested in the answer, so I'll ask it again. When life hits hard, do you bend, break, or bounce back?
Are we looking at the break, or are we looking at the...
We're not defining it for anyone.
No, I'm saying the usual way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not defining it for anyone. I'm just asking a question, however the audience wants to do it. Ellen says all three. I love it, Ellen.
That's it. That's it. Ellen's like all three. And she answered something earlier. I love it, Ellen. I'm totally with you. Because she said no one has the immediate answer, but we need to have a goal or a wish or whatever that is and stick to it, because eventually we'll get the right map, right? We'll eventually get to that. So I love it. Ellen's like, all three. When life hits hard, do you bend, break, or bounce back? What is see what Genevieve says? Genevieve,
all three
when needed. Ooh, even an extra. All three when needed. Love to know a little bit more about that, Genevieve, what you mean by the for you when needed. Because I love that.
Yeah.
I can totally be like, yep, there's a time and a place and a space for that, right? That map. Good question. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Because it's the bounce back. That's the resilience part, you
Yep.
know. And there are times when life gets hard, whatever that means for each person. And you feel as if you're broken. But are you really broken, or are you just extremely bent?
Mm,
Just curious. The other day I was driving, and there's a song, um it might be by Pink, and it says something about being bent, not broken,
okay.
in
I'll
the
look it up while
lyrics
you
of the
talk about it.
song. And I just thought that was so interesting, because do we know when we're bent or when we're broken? And what does that look like? And more importantly, how do we bounce back from either of those? Because I get all three, right? Absolutely all three. But how do you get to the bounce back part? What is it that is something inside of you? Is it something external that gets you to bounce back? Right. So when I think about this mental fortitude, um, for me, I see it more as a muscle,
Yeah.
right? And with muscles, you've got to strengthen that muscle. And the way you strengthen a muscle is repetitive. So you're always practicing, you're always doing this thing, but also it takes discipline
Yep.
to have mental fortitude, because the reality is there are days, more days now than not, where my life is filled with just, it's helping someone, it's reminding someone, it's whatever it is. It's me doing my grading, me doing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've had enough. And even in that space, I'm so aware that what I'm doing, I actually enjoy it, right? So even if
Love
it's for a split second where I'm like, I absolutely enjoy what I'm doing. And is it sometimes a lot? Yeah. But that's the time. Remember, a long time ago, Reg and I talked about stepping back and pausing before going forward. And so I have to do that. And notice I said have to.
Yeah.
I have to do that a lot, with each new role or responsibility that comes, without it overwhelming me. I've
Yep.
been in the state of overwhelm, and I hate, because it's a state, it's just a way of being for that moment. And if I can get into that state, that means I can change it. But when I'm in the state of overwhelm, I am typically unproductive. I am typically unmotivated. I am typically exhausted when I'm in that state of overwhelm. So, in order for me to do things and be productive and have this mental fortitude, the one thing I've got to do is change my state. And it's not a great giant thing that I do. All I do is shift how my body is, the position of my body. I change my face from like, oh, dread, to one that's like, even if the smile doesn't seem authentic, just the thought of smiling makes my brain think differently and
Yeah.
puts me in a different space. So mental fortitude is absolutely about practicing.
Yep.
It is absolutely about the discipline. You have to be disciplined. Anybody out there that works out in any kind of capacity, you've got to be disciplined to wake up. I'm going to shout out one of our viewers, and that's Genevieve. I've seen her videos the past couple of days, and she's like, just get moving. It takes discipline to do that, to get up and get in and do the exercises, or get up, get in and get
And
whatever
show
you
up.
need to.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline, and you're not being disciplined for others, you're being disciplined for yourself.
That's right. I love that. I love it. I love it because that is the most important. If you really, get a chance to, if you're listening to the replay and and listening right now, you said something really powerful. It's that awareness when you said, how do I do that, right? Am I bent, broken, like all of those things, and how do we get out of it? It is that discipline of bringing that awareness all the time. It's going to be, like you said, less. It'll fleet by quicker. You will get out of the overwhelm. You will be able to notice, I need the pause, I need the break. Like Ellen says, it's normal and natural to react, what Raquel was sharing, but the fortitude is necessary and an important need for me or a loved one, or and I can forge through. Because if we don't get that awareness and we don't put that discipline, that's what it is, building that muscle, that mental muscle every single time. Oh, how is this? How did this impact me? How do like all of those questions and all of that work to do? The universe is going to do it for you and put you out of commission in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to like that one. And then that brain is going to take you to So something that is really, really powerful. And I'm going to put in a plug, because Raquel and I have been talking about this behind the scenes, that we're getting into our last quarter, guys. We're ending summer. It is, I don't know, I feel like that in Florida, but we are ending summer. And we're getting into the fall. Our last quarter. I'm like, Sue, like, I don't know what's going on today. Our last quarter of the year, and that gives you 100% of whatever you want for your life. That mental fortitude. Do you want to bring awareness and understand even what mental fortitude is for you, what you want to build a muscle in, right? Whatever you want to do. I don't know, maybe you have a goal, books like Raquel and I are writing, whatever you want to do. I do want to give you this opportunity, because we're going to talk about this a lot in September, to go and give you some support. We've created this a while ago. We have the Rise and Thrive Together journal. It's that 52 questions and inspiring quotes. Super easy. It's on Amazon.com. Rise and Thrive Together journal. What we are talking about here and what we have been talking about all year, we put into a very concise, small, simple beginning steps of you to start thinking about some of the things that matter to you and how you see them and how do you view them. And these quotes might give you some inspiration. So I'm just putting it out there because we are going to look at this last quarter and play a game with you. Thanks so much. There it is. That's the cover, the Rise and Thrive Together journal. It's on Amazon. Go pick it up, because it doesn't start like in the beginning of January. The minute you open it, it's there for you. Exactly. First question. So I just want to throw that in. It's a strategy, a way to start understanding mental fortitude. Genevieve, thank you for answering. She's on point today. I bend every day. I bend forward. I bend over backwards. I was totally shattered having to administer morphine to my mom before she passed away. And the bounce back is determination to help other people feel better and helping them live in this moment. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh, more. It will help people, help other people feel better and helping them live in this moment with love, because I choose to. I mean, one more time, guys, because that bomb drop. I bend every day. I bend forward and I bend over backwards. I was totally shattered having to administer morphine to my mom before she passed away. And the bounce back is determination to help other people feel better and help them live in this moment with love, because I choose to. Man, Genevieve, whoo, that is like the bomb drop. I'm gonna give you the sound effect. Here we go. Beep, beep. Got this. Thank you for that.
You know what? And we've said this all month long. It's not, mental fortitude is not about being emotionless.
No.
Right? Because I'm sure that when Genevieve was giving her mom morphine, she wasn't emotionless. So mental fortitude is not about it being emotionless. It's about learning to manage those emotions. and not letting your emotions control you. It's so important to send your emotions to school and train them.
The discipline, right? Knowing what
Yes.
they are and the impact. I'm going to like quickly, like, yes, Ellen, thank you for the love for Genevieve. And I'm clear everybody else has a moment. Something like Genevieve has been through their own version of something they've done that felt like you were broken,
Mm.
right? That you felt that was broken, the loss of a relationship, whatever that may be, right? Whatever that is, a loss of a job, whatever, a pet, whatever that may be. Because if we don't also build that muscle on how our emotions impact us and start understanding that, they're going to take over. And that's what's called dis-ease in the body. And I'm just like, Raquel asked me how I was feeling. And I said, I'm going to share it behind the scenes now because I do like Raquel, help, have a bigger thing. And didn't put those pauses. Thought I was putting those pauses. I could give you evidence that I thought I was giving those pauses on everything you can and was down and out. Got down and out Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Lost money, like, you know what I mean? Time with my daughter, time with my family, plans, like all of that. Because I got it, and that is, really bad asthma. Almost had walking pneumonia. And if you tell me, like, that wasn't like a wake up call, and my husband could tell me every moment, like, you're not resting, you're not resting, you're not resting. Because I know Raquel and I play that way. We're in bed, we're resting, she's grading. But that's not getting that mental rest, right? So I'm gonna say, I'm not, but I'm good. I'm just watching this video. No, you need to be resting. Like, rest the mind, turn off the mind. Like, but I'm talking to Raquel. We're having fun, we're laughing. Stop. So you know what I mean? We have a lot of growth still to do. And being who we are and knowing that we're sharing that honest. That's why this is real talk. So um it will build that mental awareness of how your emotions are, how do they impact you, you know, and also start, seeing those times for pause and breaks. We're always going to talk about, self-care.
Absolutely. And one of the things I want to mention is practice discipline over motivation.
Ooh,
Motivation is something that's going to come and go, right? But discipline keeps you. Discipline sustains you while motivation comes and goes. And here's something. Tomorrow is my first day of class, back to school for me. And one of the things I often ask my students is, what's your motivation to be here? What's your motivation to get you up, get you into class? What is it for you? And most of them are like, oh, it's my mom, my dad, my grandma, my this, my that. And I'm like, well, when you no longer have those people around you to motivate you, then what?
yep.
Then what's your motivation? A lot of people have external factors as their motivation, but discipline is what's going to keep you. So are you disciplined enough to get in action when those external motivators are not present?
Oof. Another bomb drop. I love it. I'm playing with music today because that was sick. I guess this is going to be my mantra for the whole rest of practice discipline over motivation because discipline sustains you. Motivation comes and goes. And here we go. It's brilliant. I love having you on the show, and I love having all of you guys like give your beautiful chats and responses. Because when you said, you ask your students and they're like, because of this and this, I'm like, oh my goodness. How many of you, literally, be honest, looking at where you're at are like the outside, the my why, when we talk about what's your why, that why becomes that outside factor, right? That outside, like, oh, it's Lexi, right? It's very, like my daughter's not going anywhere, but like, it's got to be bigger than Lexi, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be bigger than Lexi. I mean, it's a big piece, but I'm like, I just realized like, wow, I'm an outside person, you know? So I've got to turn in, right? And get that disciplined muscle. I bet you I'll breathe better. Feel better. No, seriously, I love it. You know, Chrissy throws in, I'm very disciplined, but mentally fatigued. Ooh, right? So where's that trick? Where's that little, like, what's the thing, sis, when you hear that? Because you're talking about disciplined. And then she's saying, but she's also mentally fatigued. That's a nice little,
But are you disciplined enough not to get mentally fatigued? More importantly, let's take a step back. Are you disciplined enough to recognize when you are getting mentally fatigued, step in so that you don't reach that point and make a shift,
yeah,
right? It becomes now about self-awareness. And
that pause.
that's a conversation I've had with folks, and mainly just students or people in the community, and we're just having regular conversation. But one of the things that I also want to say, and I found this, it says athletes don't wait until they feel like it to train; they commit. All the great athletes, and I love basketball, so people like LeBron or Jordan or Steph Curry, they're not there saying, "Oh, I don't feel like it." They make a commitment. They can make a commitment to their craft. They make a commitment to themselves to be disciplined, because that's really and truly what it takes. If we lack discipline, then we're just willy-nilly all over the place. We're like kids. Kids aren't disciplined. We try to teach them that as parents, right? And if
Yeah,
we don't, then they just run amok. And that's the same discipline we need to have with ourselves.
love
And
it.
whether you get that by mental fortitude, or whether you get it by having an accountability person, because I think accountability people are just great, right? But don't get an accountability person who's a yes person. You want somebody that's going to really call you on your stuff.
Yeah, challenge you and elevate you and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some great people. So I just want to take a moment and thank Andrew Fernandez, who
Yes,
is the clinical director at Strive Physical Therapy. He talked to us about pain neuroscience,
it was
which
great.
was absolutely incredible. Learned a lot from him. And then our guest last week was Gaston Sanchez. And Gaston is someone, he works with youth, he works with young people, he gets um, gigs speaking to all kinds of kids all over the place. And he teaches them about, instead of RIP, rest in peace, he
Yeah,
fiddled those letters around and he spoke about respect, professionalism, and integrity.
yeah,
And all three of those are extremely important when we're working not just with youth, but with ourselves.
I love it. What else we got? We got Ellen saying, I've been surprising myself. My gut really knows me the best. That intuition, right, Ellen? I have found that when I move forward, the reaction is positive, authentic motives, and then I go with it. Right? So really what I'm hearing, what everybody is sharing, what Raquel is sharing, what we're sharing is that we wish we can make this linear, right? We wish we could say, okay, here it is. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. There's a lot to it, guys. We're but giving you the opportunity to really start looking at what we have been committed for the show about mindset is a big part of that, and different strategies around that, and understanding language and what discipline, what we might read, like I was just reading, and how Raquel then interprets it. And then I might have a different interpretation, and you might have a different interpretation, and how it plays a role in our life, because all of this comes from all the ways that we've been brought up. But there are many things that are really, really important. I think we've been wired very differently. So that's why I love that statement where you say practice discipline over motivation. To be honest, everything out there is motivating. Hey, motivator, motivator, motivator. It's why we both kind of shifted away from the motivational speaker and kind of played around with that. It's nice, but it does not last. Motivation comes and goes. Like I said, do we want, LeBron James, Steph Curry, us, doesn't mean we're always motivated, ready to be like, woohoo, ready for the show, ready to do grading, but it's the discipline and it's the commitment, right? And it's the bigger piece of why, like Ellen was saying earlier, and what Genevieve was saying, it's bigger than, what happened to her. It was what she is choosing as
Mhm.
a commitment of making a difference by helping other people feel better in living their life now, right? What you want now. So it's a lot to take in, but that's why we're here. If you have want to learn more about it, you've got 121 other episodes to go back and watch. We got a lot of juice in there. Got you a book as well to do that. And I'm super stoked because we're coming into September.
And what's our September topic?
Ooh.
You want to share that with
Yeah,
the
man.
audience?
This is Raquel is on point. We got some stuff up. I just want to make sure I got the right one ready. I'm going to put it up. Here we go. September. Our topic is clear the clutter. How perfect is this? Clear the mind, making space for what matters. Okay. So again, in the middle of a conversation, she's like, "Hey, and so what's our topic?" It just rolls perfectly. We're literally talking about these things. Like, go back and watch the show. Exactly what we're talking about now: the mental discipline, the mental commitment, the mental awareness. We are now going to look at those blocks. We are going to look at that clutter. We are going to have amazing guests to talk about how they do that and how they clear their mind to what matters.
Hmm.
It's only to what matters to you. And
Right.
then we can see how that gets all swirly, swirly. Because if you're someone like Raquel and I and these guests, we got big lives. We got a lot of things that matter to us. A lot. And then some overwhelm can happen, like she said, that can cause this effect. So we're going to take, we're not just saying hello to this topic and goodbye. We're literally rising and thriving with this topic. We got you into mental fortitude, some grit, some great guests, great bumps. Please, this is available for you all the time to watch. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. So go and watch them. And now we're going to take it to the next level. So I'm stoked, sis, because we got some great guests for September.
Absolutely. And there's a theme, right? So we've got the mental fortitude,
Yep.
right? Now it's time we have the ability to stay grounded, resilient, focused in the face of challenges. And now we're going to declutter.
Yes, spring cleaning.
You
Spring
know,
cleaning.
it's time because, like Reg said, the end of the year December is quickly approaching. And how do you, here's something my pastor always says, and I absolutely love it. How you leave one year determines how you enter the next.
Ooh, another
So
bomb drop.
start, step away from the bomb drop. And so my question is, and we'll leave you with this until next month, which sounds great. Um, how do you want to leave 2025? And how do you want to enter into 2026? And that's something to start thinking about or not. Right? But join us anyway, because we're still going to be talking about it.
I love it. I'm putting it up, guys. And bonus points just for having fun. I mean, like how? Oh, listen. I'm not the greatest typer right now. How you leave one year is how you enter the next year. So not like how you leave one year. However you leave 2025 is going to be how you're entering to the next year into 2026. And the big beautiful question of the day is how do you want to leave 2025? And Raquel and I are going to ponder on that. And we will share that and open with you on Monday. How we've kind of thought about this and said, how do we want to leave 2025? And how do we want to enter, which I spelled wrong, 2026? What I'd like to leave 2025 is taking a little bit more time and being more present in the pause so I can really look at how I speak and write and then make sure it comes out more clearer. But and it's not perfect, but it's a great question. I love it. Guys, please join the Rise and Thrive Together community. It is private. Want to grow it for 2026. I'll be honest, we have 88. I love that number, 88. If you put it on the side, it's infinity people. And I would love to have a goal of 100 people by the end of 2025, 100 committed Rise and Thrive Together as community people in there. So questions going in as soon as I promise you. I'll have it in before 9:30 tonight. And, tag your friends, invite them in there. And I'd love to, we would love to hear, how you're going to leave 2025 and enter 2026.
Absolutely. We have absolutely enjoyed this topic. Looking forward to decluttering with you in the month of September. So, super stoked to hear what you all are decluttering, whether it's a closet, whether it's that junk drawer in the kitchen, or whether it's your mind or your friends list. A bit shorter. Whatever it is, we absolutely want to hear about it. Thank you, Ellen, so much for joining us as always. We truly appreciate all of our listeners/viewers. And remember, we cannot do this alone, but together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.